guessed it, another conspiracy theory video, but someone actually came up with the idea, and I thought this would actually be kind of fun because I know these were almost like a popular genre at one point in time for YouTube and Twitter and a bunch of other places, and they are iceberg theories. Now, if you don't know what an iceberg theory is, basically it's an iceberg, which, if you also don't know, an iceberg isn't just the top half that we see on the sort of surface over the water. Obviously those are massive, glaciers are humongous, but there are so many other super duper deep levels to glaciers. And the sort of theory that goes along with the iceberg theories is that we see a lot of the surface sort of conspiracy theories, whether it is for, I don't know, normal conspiracy theories that we talked about before on this channel, or maybe even ones that are about the music industry, movie industry, even there's ones on sports, there's ones on specific actors and specific movies, and even other specific conspiracy theories. It goes so deep in depth. I'm going to be just looking at a few of them with you in this video. And also, with that being said, make sure you first of all like the video if you do like the video, and subscribe to the channel for the randomness that I post on my channel. But also, I'm not going to be doing a lot of, deep diving, because again, conspiracy theories, a lot of these sort of things sometimes get a little dark, and there are some channels, maybe even some other ASMR channels, that do more dark ASMR. I don't really like, well, I don't want to say that, I don't have that vibe on my channel for a reason. So if you are looking for a more in-depth, spooky, you could even say conspiracy theory video, there's a lot of other ones on other people's channels. This is going to be more of a, I guess, look into a very broad look into iceberg theories. So with that being said, I have a couple of them that I found, and we're not going to do just one, unless you guys like one that you guys want more of an in-depth look on, or for you can even comment one down below that I can do for the next video. Definitely let me know. And yeah, I have a few in mind, so let's get started. Alrighty, well, one that I think that would be kind of fun is to do a sort of movie industry iceberg theory. So maybe I'll put up a picture or a couple pictures of different sort of ones. I'm not going to put the picture of the one I'm reading off of, just because the fact that you'll be able to see the ones I'm going to be coming up with, and it's not going to be like a surprise when I say them and talk about them. So maybe I'll put up some other ones, maybe some other pictures of other things. I also did find the NBA one, so if you are more into sports, you can skip a little bit throughout this video, or you can just sit and watch ones. But the first one I found was a movie industry, and this one is kind of funny because it talks about a lot of different sort of movie genres. And this first, part of the iceberg theory, the tippy top of it, are some of the ones that again are what most people believe are true. And as they get deeper down to the base of the glacier, they're a little bit harder to maybe be convinced or believed by very few. But the first one we're going to be talking about is one that's pretty funny. It's a Star Wars one for you Star Wars fans out there. It's the theory of Darth Jar Jar. If you don't know this, I don't know if this is even a confirmed theory, a fan theory. It's the fact that Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord known as Darth Jar Jar. Now, there are a couple things that sort of help this theory. Like, I think there's even some scenes throughout the Star Wars trilogy that he's in, episodes 1 through 3, that somehow almost convey him using the Force in some ways, which I think is pretty a fun part of the theory. Another sort of big detail is the fact that how easy it is that Jar Jar Binks becomes a councilman on the Coruscant Council, or whatever they're called. And obviously that does tie into, with Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, having another Sith on the council with him, a la a Jar Jar Binks guy. Also, Jar Jar being very close to Padme Amidala, one of the most powerful people in the Star Wars universe during that time period. It would make a lot of sense that Sidious would make Jar Jar a very close ally during that time period, which again helps the theory of him somehow becoming a Sith during this time. Now, is this a theory that I believe? No, to an extent. I don't think, George Lucas or the creators of the Star Wars exist? Yes, again. But do I believe it is a true thing? No. Can it be a possibility? Absolutely. And I'm sure there's some sort of, people out there making books and stories and lore on this, and that's really dope because that's the whole, point of having fandoms of, as big as Star Wars and Marvel and blah blah blah, is to have these type of theories. Do I think it's true though? No. But is it fun? Yes. And I absolutely love this one. Kind of funny we started with a cool Star Wars sort of, I guess, theory on the movie industry iceberg. Oh, another really cool one that's again on sort of the tip of the iceberg for some things, and again, kind of nice because I really heavily enjoy these things. It's kind of cool that this is on the iceberg that I'm looking at right now, and it is the theory that every single Disney movie is connected somehow, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah, so basically, every sort of, I don't know if it's every Disney movie or if it's every Disney Pixar movie or even if it's just the entirety of Disney Pixar, both of them at the same time are connected now. Obviously there are scenes in the Disney movies that do have props or stuffed animals or shadows of figures or pictures or t-shirts of different sort of, I guess, either brands of other universes shown in Disney universes, or there would be a picture of Sully in the movie Brave. There's I think there's Finding Nemo, like the Finding Nemo himself as a stuffed animal in Monsters Inc. Oh, there's so many other ones. I think there might be a car somewhere. Doug the dog is in the movie Ratatouille, which is so crazy to think about that. So again, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. There's probably like an hour-long video on YouTube about it, and I think it's really dope. Now, do I think this is a theory that is true? In a way, yes. I actually do believe this because it's like the thing about Darth Jar Jar and why I don't think it's like a true theory, because it's the fact that it's not very obvious. You have to sort of like, oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. And you kind of have to like put two and two together. For Disney and Pixar, they purposely put these things inside their movies that connect to other universes and other Disney movies. So the fact that the creators are also feeding into this is why I believe it's a true thing that every Disney movie I do think is connected some way, somehow. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, there is another big Disney theory about how it's not only that they are connected in the sort of same universe or timeline, but it's the fact that they're not only like, it's like a timeline that you could connect one movie from the beginning of the Pixar Disney timeline to the end of the Pixar movie timeline. So not only are they in the same sort of universe, but it's almost telling the story of one whole movie. Now that is one I do not believe. I don't believe that. Do I believe, like, obviously the makers obviously try to put hints and blah 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 to make it all connected, yes, but I don't think there's some big whole entire Disney movie timeline that's being made, sort of like how a Marvel movie are made like that. No, I don't believe that, but it is pretty cool. You should definitely look those up on YouTube if you are sort of eager to think about it, or if you're a fan of Disney and don't know about that theory. Diving another sort of layer into the iceberg here, into the movie industry. Not a Disney one. Well, actually, technically, this is a Disney one because Disney owns Fox. I think Fox made this movie. It's a little bit of a darker one, but kind of an interesting one. It's the fact that Kevin McAllister actually becomes Jigsaw. Yes, Jigsaw from the movie Saw. Now, I have no idea if this is a true theory. This is just a theory that's on the iceberg. Could I look it up and like see if it's like a real thing? Yes, but I think it's more fun if me and you just have a little chit chat about it. And this is something that could be very possible. I think in the Jigsaw movies, if I can remember correctly, he does have a name. He's like a real person. He's not like some sort of like supernatural being like a Michael Myers or something like that. He is a real human, and I don't think his name is Kevin. I think they actually like say his name, so it's not like it's some sort of like, I don't know, guy they never catch. But yeah, that is actually kind of interesting of a theory to think about it. Maybe at some point in time he like changes his name from like Kevin McAllister to maybe a different name. That could be very interesting. Or it could be, some other type of fan theory that maybe he changed his name for some other reason. I don't know, but obviously with Kevin McAllister and Home Alone making a lot of booby traps and stuff like that, and obviously very painful ones. If you actually is like kind of sick in the head, like blow torches, burning people's hands. I mean, I think at one point in time, someone gets electrocuted, someone like stabs a needle through his foot. Like, it's kind of gruesome if you think about it in like a realistic sort of a mind frame, not sort of like this is like some sort of funny kids movie. Now, obviously, this is one I definitely don't believe, because again, there's some theories and facts that are, I guess, missing in this big thing. But again, yeah, someone sick in the head like that would probably turn into a psychopath like Jigsaw from the Saw movie. So that's actually very interesting. I'm actually kind of glad that was on here, because that's crazy. Oh, here's a kind of a cool one from the Marvel Universe, is that Stan Lee is actually the Watcher, or maybe a Watcher of this universe in the Marvel MCU, which kind of quickly to go over, I think Stan Lee, in one of like his Stan Lee appearances, is actually talking with a bunch of sort of aliens from a sort of scene in a movie. And obviously with Stan Lee being in every single movie, there is a being in the Marvel comics called the Watcher, and it is a guy who sort of does what his name is. He's a Watcher, and he watches sort of the universe and the timeline play out in a certain way. Now, I think we've seen it in the MCU, maybe, if I can remember, but there's definitely, him in the What If series that came out on Disney Plus, which is really good if you haven't seen it, if you are a Marvel fan. And I guess the theory is that Stan Lee is a version of the Watcher, or being a Watcher of this Marvel MCU, which is kind of cool. It does make sense. I don't know or think if Stan Lee is in any of the newer Marvel stuff. I think the last one he was in was, what was it? One of the Spider-Man movies, maybe. I'm trying to remember the last Stan Lee appearance was. But yeah, that's actually a cool theory. I like that a lot, and maybe that is true. I think that might be one I do believe, because he did. Again, there's a scene of him talking to like a bunch of other different sort of beings, which is really cool to see that. And he's in every single movie, so I guess I may actually believe that theory. Oh, the Quentin Tarantino universe. I think I remember hearing about this at some point in time, that Quentin Tarantino's movies are all written and sort of based in the same sort of world, kind of like, again, an MCU type of universe, where every single movie that Quentin Tarantino has done are connected in some way, shape, or form. Now, what is really cool about that is that I think there was also a theory about the M. Night Shyamalan movies for a while, but then obviously, with the, what's that movie called? There was Glass. That Glass movie was obviously the finale of that. Oh yeah, it's called Split. There was the Split movie, and then at the end of that movie, there was the Unbreakable movie that sort of also connected a lot of them together. So, kind of like with that, with the Quentin Tarantino movies, kind of like the same thing. There's a theory that they're all connected, and wow, that'd be interesting. I know Quentin Tarantino has some amazing movies, obviously Pulp Fiction and whatnot, but man, a theory that they're all connected. I don't know. I would have to really think about it and maybe dive a little bit deeper into that one specifically, but it wouldn't come like to a surprise, because Quentin Tarantino is is a real big thinker when it comes to things. So maybe they're all connected, and maybe he'll tell us. I don't know. And there are just so many other ones. Like this listing has like 50 things on there that I just keep looking over them. They're all just like a bunch of Disney ones as well. Like let's see here. There's the one that Wall-E, the robot from the Wall-E movie, is an evil robot. Actually, there's one about Andy's mom was the original owner of the Jessie doll. There are a lot of Disney ones here. That's just kind of interesting. Anything else? Star Wars is told from R2-D2's own perspective. Wow. The Sonic movies redesign was a publicity stunt. That's actually what I will believe. I think the Sonic movie intentionally made Sonic to look like a gross thing, because Sonic is one of the most memeable joke characters probably on the internet. So many things about Sonic, and I think maybe they knew that it would go viral if it was bad. And again, Sonic, a very memeable character, maybe they thought it would grow into that, and guess what, it did. And then the end product of Sonic actually looks really good and really simplistic and normal. You would think that they would probably do this version of how Sonic looks now than the original one, but that's actually a theory I will actually maybe 100% believe. There's so many other ones. There's actually the Frozen one we're talking about. That Frozen is a big Disney cover-up from Walt Disney's body being frozen. That's one we talked about earlier. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Let's just move on to the sports one. Yes, the NBA Iceberg. Wow, there are a lot of them. Some of them we've already talked about before, like the 2002 Western Conference Finals with the Lakers and the Kings. The folded envelope one we talked about before. Michael Jordan's gambling suspension. There's one here though that's pretty interesting called the Kardashian Curse, which, if you don't know, a lot of really good, I wouldn't say great, but really good NBA players who tend to end up with dating Kardashians end up being very bad, or maybe even not being very bad. They end up almost like ruining their careers. Now, of course, there's, I think, Devin Booker right now, who's doing pretty fine right now. I think dating Kendall Jenner, if I'm correct. But there was a point where Ben Simmons was also, involved with Kendall Jenner, and we all know Ben Simmons now is like one of the most hated on people in all of sports. Hasn't played a game in the entire year, kind of on a downward trajectory. Blake Griffin also at one point in time, I think, was also dating Kendall Jenner, and Blake Griffin's career, didn't win a championship and is now sort of a bench player for the Brooklyn Nets, also kind of on a downward trajectory. We all know about Tristan Thompson. I don't really think about anything about Chris Humphries because I think he married Kim Kardashian at one point in time, but he was never really that great of a player. But yeah, the Kardashian Curse hopefully doesn't affect Devin Booker, but that's actually something that have a lot of ties to a lot of NBA players. There is one that says here about Duncan, T-Mac, Grant Hill, Big Three in Orlando. Was that something that was supposed to happen? Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, and Tim Duncan were supposed to team up at some point in time in Orlando. I have no idea. Interesting. I keep going down the glacier, and there's one here that says, and I think I remember hearing about this from somewhere. I think it might have been like a report, or I don't know why I know this, but it's the theory that Wilt Chamberlain in his lifetime slept with close to or around 20,000 women, which, again, I don't know if that's humanly possible, but it is a theory that he definitely had a good time when he was around, and I don't think I believe it's that much, but I do think, even players during that time period, I know even a fact that Magic Johnson had a lot of fun when he was a player, and I'm sure there was a lot of other players during that time period was doing all that fun stuff as well, which, to each their own. But no, I don't think it's around 20,000. It's probably, it probably is in the thousands if I'm being completely honest, but don't know if it's that high. Oh god. One of the bottoms of the iceberg is Kevin McHale traded Kevin Garnett to the Boston Celtics on purpose. Now, if you don't know, Kevin McHale was the GM during the time, or maybe the president of basketball operations, or whatever you want to call them, during that time period, and he did draft KG to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he also traded Kevin Garnett to his former team, the team he's known for, and probably the team he loves the most in the Boston Celtics. That does make a lot of sense, and I don't even know if, what did Minnesota get back in that trade? I don't think they really got anything back, so maybe they did sort of finesse a way to get KG, a la Kevin McHale, to go to his favorite team, his favorite franchise, the team he played on in the Boston Celtics. He probably could have gotten maybe better offers going somewhere else, and I don't think Kevin Garnett left during free agency, so yikes, that would be a pretty crazy thing. If I was a GM, and if I could make a trade with one team or a trade with the Portland Trailblazers, maybe I would favor the Portland Trailblazers a little bit more. That's a very interesting one right there. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. I think there are a lot more, but again, I want to leave it to maybe doing another video. So we did movies and sports in this one. Again, if you want me to do maybe like a music one, if you guys really like this, we can do that. And also maybe in my next video, I'll go more into a deep dive over the theories. This video, I kind of just wanted to pondering idea when you're trying to relax and go to bed. So it's kind of nice. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Make sure you like the video if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again in my next video. Very, 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 very soon, right, guys?